Sometimes I wish I didn't feel so much. I wish I could scroll past pain like everyone else, laugh at things that aren't funny, and live untouched by the chaos around me. But I can't. My mind notices everything, and my heart feels even more. It's strange, isn't it? How being emotionally intelligent, the ability to read people, sense moods, and understand silence, can feel more like a burden than a gift. People call it empathy, sensitivity, awareness. But most days, it feels like standing barefoot on broken glass, sensing every sharp edge that others walk over blindly. You smile. You listen. You understand. You see what's not being said. You forgive without being asked, comfort without being thanked, and love without being seen. And yet, the world rarely meets you halfway. It's too loud, too quick, too self-centered to notice how deeply you care. And so, emotional intelligence becomes both your superpower and your wound. You can heal others, but not yourself. You can read hearts, but few ever read yours. Today, I want to tell you what it really feels like to be emotionally intelligent in an insensitive world. It's strange how feelings travel. How someone else's pain can find its way into your chest, uninvited, like smoke through a half-open window. I've walked into rooms and felt heaviness before anyone spoke. I've heard laughter that didn't reach the eyes, and I've smiled back anyway, because that's what emotionally intelligent people do. We mirror comfort. We absorb chaos. It's not that I want to. It just happens. Their sadness, their anger, their uncertainty. It settles inside me until I can't tell where theirs ends and mine begins. Sometimes, I lie awake at night thinking about conversations that weren't even mine to carry. A stranger's disappointment, a friend's heartbreak, a silent tension between two people in a crowd. I feel them all like echoes inside me. People think emotional intelligence is this beautiful thing. They say, "You're so understanding," or "You always know what to say." But they don't see what it costs. Because when you feel everything, you learn to hide it. You learn to smile when you're breaking. You learn to say, "I'm fine," because explaining what's wrong would take hours, and you wouldn't even know where to start. Sometimes I envy those who can just exist without thinking, without analyzing every tone, every silence, every shift in someone's mood. I envy people who can be selfish and sleep well at night. I envy those who can say, "Not my problem," and actually mean it. But for me, it's never that simple. When someone's energy changes, I feel it in my bones. When someone's hurt, I carry a piece of it like invisible weight. It's empathy turned into endurance. And yet, no one sees it. To the world, I'm calm, composed. But inside, I'm decoding everything, reading between every line, trying to understand what's wrong, even when I know it's not my job to fix it. It's exhausting loving this way, feeling this much, but I can't turn it off. Because even in the exhaustion, there's beauty. Even in the pain, there's purpose. I see humanity where others see inconvenience. I see souls where others see faces. That's what it means to feel everything, even what's not yours. It's both a curse and a calling. And sometimes, I wonder if the world will ever understand that both can coexist in the same heart. There was a time when I used to argue, when I would fight to be understood, to be heard. But as I grew, emotionally, painfully, quietly, I realized something unsettling. The more I understood people, the harder it became to stay angry at them. It's not that I suddenly stopped caring about what they did. It's that I started seeing the why behind it. The reasons, the wounds, the fears that shape how people act. And once you start seeing people through that lens, anger loses its fire. It turns into a slow, quiet ache of empathy. When someone snaps at me, I don't see rudeness anymore. I see fatigue. When someone lies, I see fear. When someone distances themselves, I see protection. And when someone hurts me, I see their pain trying not to drown. It sounds noble, but truthfully, it's not easy. Because understanding everything doesn't make it hurt less. It just makes it harder to blame anyone. I find myself forgiving things that still ache in my chest. I rationalize betrayals. I justify silence. I tell myself, they didn't mean it that way, or they're going through something. And in the process, I end up absorbing emotions that were never meant to be mine. It's a strange kind of prison, to have empathy so wide that it swallows your anger whole. You begin to feel guilty for wanting to be upset. You start thinking, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I should be more patient. Maybe I expect too much. And so you stop confronting people. You stop explaining what hurt you. Not because it doesn't matter, but because you already understand it too well. You've already had the argument inside your head, and you've lost, because compassion won. But deep down, understanding people too much can make you feel lonely. Because no one ever tries to understand you. They assume you're strong. They assume you're fine. They take comfort in your calmness, unaware that you're constantly suppressing storms just to keep the peace. Sometimes, I wish I could unlearn empathy, just for a day. To raise my voice, to demand, to stop excusing everyone's behavior. To say, you hurt me, without also saying, but I understand why you did. But that's the paradox of being emotionally intelligent. You understand too much to stay mad, yet you feel too deeply to truly let go. You become the bridge that connects everyone, but rarely do you find someone waiting for you at the other end. Still, I've learned to accept this quiet strength. Because even if my anger dissolves into empathy, I know it means one thing. I've chosen peace over pride. And maybe, in a world full of noise and blame, that's its own kind of rebellion. I've noticed something strange about people like me. We attract the broken, the lost, the uncertain, the ones carrying invisible wounds. Maybe they can sense it, the softness in our tone, the patience in our eyes, the quiet assurance that we'll understand even what they cannot say. And so they come to us, in fragments, telling stories they've never told, crying in ways they've never allowed themselves to. We hold their pain like a sacred secret, carefully, gently, as if it were fragile glass. But what no one sees is that while we're holding them together, something inside us quietly falls apart. Because when you are emotionally intelligent, you feel everything, not just your own emotions, but the echoes of everyone else's. You absorb their storms while pretending to be their calm. I can listen for hours, comfort for days, and smile as if I'm whole, even when I'm anything. It's a skill, but it's also a curse. Because healing others becomes an instinct. You do it automatically, unconsciously. You text back when they disappear. You forgive even when you're exhausted. You explain when others accuse. You fix what you didn't break. Because silence, to you, feels like abandonment. But sometimes, when the world is quiet and my phone stops buzzing, I realize how empty I've become. Like I've poured so much of myself into everyone else that there's nothing left for me. No one ever asks, "Are you okay?" Not because they don't care, but because you've taught them that you always are. You've made peace look effortless. You've made strength look easy. And that's the tragedy. When you're the healer, people forget that you need healing too. I've learned that being emotionally intelligent often means carrying a secret exhaustion. The kind that doesn't come from physical labor, but from emotional weight. You're constantly analyzing, interpreting, absorbing. You read between lines that others don't even see. And when you finally break, no one notices. You do it quietly, gracefully, behind closed doors. Because even in pain, you don't want to burden anyone else. There's a strange beauty in it. The way you can love without expectation. The way you can understand without judgment. The way you can bring peace into someone's chaos, even when you're drowning in your own. But still, some nights, I wish someone would look at me the way I look at others, with patience, with empathy, with understanding. Someone who won't ask for healing, but offer it. Someone who won't need words to see that I'm tired. Because sometimes, being the one who heals doesn't mean you're strong. It just means you've learned how to hide your wounds beautifully. And maybe, just maybe, that's the quiet art of emotional intelligence in an insensitive world. To keep giving light, even when no one notices the fire burning out inside you. Maybe that's what it means. To be emotionally intelligent in a world that rarely feels. To love deeply, in places that only echo with noise. To listen, even when no one listens back. To carry the emotions of others as if they were your own. And still find the grace to smile. I used to think emotional intelligence was a gift, a kind of light. And maybe it is. But what no one tells you is how heavy light can be when you're the only one holding it. People like us, we don't crave perfection. We don't even crave praise. We crave understanding. Someone who won't just hear us, but feel us. Someone who won't mistake our silence for peace, or our calm for strength. Because behind that calm, there's often a heart that has weathered 1,000 storms, quietly. But here's what I've learned. Feeling deeply isn't weakness. It's a quiet kind of power. It's the ability to see through facades, to love through fear, to stay kind in a world that numbs itself to survive. And yes, it hurts sometimes, but it also means you are alive. In ways most people aren't. So, to the ones who always understand but are rarely understood, to the ones who heal others while bleeding silently, to the ones who love with a wisdom words can't describe, don't harden, don't shrink, don't apologize for feeling too much. Because in this loud and careless world, your sensitivity is not a flaw. It's a form of resistance. And your heart, though tired, is proof that gentleness still exists. You are the quiet revolution. And your empathy is your strength.